Hello guys. This is a video for United Federal Transportation. So this is just a company video. Well, actually, I don't think this will just be a company video. This will be a video for everyone. But it's primarily looking towards the people that are in UFT. If you want to be in UFT, you have to be in UFN. So in United Federal Nation, once you join, you will be able to see all this type of stuff. You're going to go ahead and go to announcements. And then once you go to announcements, you got to scroll up a little bit. You'll see a link like this. And then you join, and that's how you get into UFT. So, yeah, if you're not found to be in UFN, then we will remove you from UFT because we don't want to catch anyone like trying to do a ban evasion. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on to the video. Here are some ways how you can reduce lag and get more FPS in rigs of rods. I don't recommend doing this to every setting unless if your computer is trash like mine, but here's just a couple of settings that you may be able to do, so that way you'll be able to at least get some FPS. So you don't have to do everything what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go through some of the things you can do. So first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that VSync is off. VSync, I don't know what it really does, and I looked into it, and it says that VSync can cause lag, a whole lot of lag. When I turned this off, I got around a 10 or 15 FPS increase, so I would just leave that off, and I would just leave these settings as before, and I would just focus on the graphics section, because this is where most of the FPS stuff, you'll be able to go ahead and disable some of that stuff there. So let me just check that. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that will affect your FPS greatly, except for some of these options. Personally, I wouldn't have any of these options enabled besides the ones that I usually have on. But that's up to you depending on your computer. So when it comes to graphics, here's some settings that I would usually turn down. And one of the greatest things is sight range. Now, this one is the biggest FPS causer of, the lag causer of all. So sometimes our computers are not able to handle 5,000 sight range. So what I would do is I would recommend turning it down to maybe around 500. I would say around 502. And if it still lags, then I will probably bring it at around maybe 246, 222, 210, stuff like that. But I'll leave it on 222. But yeah, this is the biggest one that you're looking for. The less sight range you have, the way more FPS you're gonna get. I remember this was all the way up and I was getting like 10 FPS, and then I brung this down, and then I started to get like 70, 80 FPS. So this is the biggest one. Anyway, let's go on to other ways you can bring that down. Sometimes headlights would be lagging others, so I will either change this to only current vehicles and main lights, or no light sources at all. On default, it's going to say all vehicles main lights, which will cause some lag, but me personally, I will put on no light sources. The Sky GFX can also, let's back up a little bit. The shadow type can also cause some lag. I would just leave it on disabled and not PSSM if it's on. The Sky GFX can really bring some lag onto your computer right now. The fastest one I'd be looking to is Sandstorm, and that's the fastest option you will have. The only thing is that you can't change the time, but it's best when you're trying to do multiplayer. Texturing can also lag you a lot, so I would usually leave this on bilinear, as this is the most FPS option available. Don't be tricked when it says none, because once you leave it on no texturing, it's still acting like you see everything. So it's not going to filter out what you need to see and what you don't need to see when it comes to close range. So I would just leave this on anisotrophic. But if you're still getting FPS like lag issues, then I would try bilinear. I mean, it's better than having none. Am I right? Water GFX, I would leave this to fastest. Do not put this on none, because once you leave out and go back in, it's going to put it on reflection and refraction. And that's going to lag your PC heavily if you have a bad PC. Of course, you want to make sure your FPS limit is on 0. If not, then I would bring it all the way to 0 to change that. And I would just disable all these things here and just leave on overview map icons and declutter overview map. Sometimes real-time reflections is on, and most users like to put it on a variety of 1 or 6, 6 being the laggiest and 0 being the FPS friendliest. But if you're still really lagging, then you can go ahead and turn this option off. This option is just for if you want reflections off of your bus. For instance, you'll be able to see some of the map on JSON CE, and that's basically what it is. So yeah, and I think that's about it. None of these really matter, so we're just gonna go ahead and log back in to on single player and test this stuff out. So this is what it's gonna look like when, you know, yeah. The reason I'm having this low FPS, well, actually 50 while recording. It said 50 one time. I'm averaging around 30, 40. That's not bad for a trash PC, but this is what it'll usually look like. I mean, it doesn't look too good because, you know, I'm on the FPS version, but at least it's not bad either, if you get what I mean. At least you'll still be able to see some of the texturing and stuff like that. And when I go ahead and spawn a bus in game, let's go ahead and spawn 289, because this seems to be the bus that I usually drive. Let me go ahead and turn it off as well. Before you guys yell at me, yes, I did get Jason's permission to put these, you know, AC units on top. So don't come at me saying, hey Jasper, you're editing stuff without permission. No, I did get Jason's permission to put, you know, AC units on this thing. So, but this is how it would usually look like. So you can tell it's not pretty, well, it's not the best, but at least it's something. You get what I mean? Like, I'd rather be something in a company than rather than just like lag and go like 2 miles per hour. And you can still see, like, when it comes to texturing, it's still pretty good. Unless you're looking at it from a long distance, then it starts to filter out. But yeah. Also, to avoid bigger FPS problems, you want to make sure that your mods are clear. So some people would usually have hundreds and even thousands of mods, but personally I would put the mods that I need in the folder, and then I would create another folder around here saying you know, the archive things. That's basically me taking it out of the folder and putting it somewhere else when it's not in use. So that way, it's not all in your mods folder. It's not all taking up your FPS. If somebody does spawn something laggy, it's not going to affect you greatly. And also, you want to keep in mind of the buses. Like, JSON CE is really FPS friendly, so that's why I have it spawn. And you know, if you're a modder, also keep in mind that the more props you have in your truck file, the more likely it is to be laggy. So yeah, just go ahead and keep that in mind. So well, I hope this video helps out half of you guys' computers, as that helped mine's out. And I'll see you guys later then. Peace.